know someone, love someone, or is someone who menstruates? Can you please raise your hands? Everybody's hands here should be raised because either of you know someone, love someone, or is someone who menstruates. And that is why menstrual hygiene is not just a women's issue, but it's a human rights issue that concerns every single person in this room. I know that periods is not the most common thing to be passionate about or to bring up in conversation, but I really much am passionate about periods, and my passion comes from a very personal place. When I was 15 years old, I lost my period for almost a year, and I thought that it was a blessing. I was overjoyed, and I was so happy that I did not have to menstruate anymore, and that I did not have to go through the menstrual cramps, the premenstrual symptoms, and I did not have to go through the embarrassment of bringing a pad with me to school and the embarrassment of walking with a pad to a bathroom. But after my grandma and my mother realized what was happening, they took me to see a gynecologist, which was a women's health doctor. And she diagnosed me with a menstrual disorder called polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS. It's a menstrual disorder characterized by cysts in my ovaries and an imbalance of hormones. And that meant that I had to take hormone medications or birth control pills in order to make sure that my periods came back to a regular schedule. So I took these pills, I took them to school, and I had to take them after lunch. And when I did that, in the beginning, I remember how I used to head over to the public restroom and just take the pills in secret, because I did not want anyone to come up to me and ask me the question, what is that pill for? Why are you taking it? And I had to explain to them that I had a problem with my body, that I was suffering from a menstrual disorder. And especially, I did not want to bring up the issue of periods or menstruation because I felt uncomfortable and embarrassed, because periods has always been a taboo topic and a stigma in my culture. And for me, I felt that I was embarrassed and uncomfortable. However, after months and months passed, I was like, okay, why not just try taking the pills during lunchtime at the table? There's no harm in that, right? So I did that one day, and to my surprise, all of the girls around me erupted in conversation. One person told me that they too were seeing a gynecologist. Another person said that they too had frequent periods or too infrequent periods, and that they were suffering similar issues as I was. And that made me feel that I was part of a community that I could really confide in. For a really long time in my life, I thought that I was the only one suffering in silence, and that I was the only one going through these issues, and I had no one to talk about these issues to. But by opening up and seeing how all these girls were opening up to me, made me realize that there's a huge community of girls out there who are going through the same issues, are also looking for someone that they can talk to and discuss this issue, and also find solutions with. Not only that, I also had the opportunity to talk about my menstrual issues with the former inmates I was working with at the House of Blessing Foundation. So the House of Blessing Foundation is an NGO that helps train former inmates so that they can reintegrate back into society. And I was volunteering there since I was in middle school. And I was close to one of the former inmates there that I was speaking to. I told her about my menstrual disorder, and she told me about her menstrual challenges. To my surprise, and it struck a deep chord inside me, was the fact that she told me when she was in prison, she did not have access to any pads or menstrual products, which caused her to bleed through her prison uniform, and the guards forced her to mop up her mess, and she experienced so much shame and guilt because of that. And the reason is because of this lack of access to period products. This caused me to research even further, and I realized that over 500 million people worldwide actually have no access to period products or the education they need to make sure that they're able to menstruate with the dignity that they deserve. Not only that, periods causes a lot of girls to miss school. In India, women cannot touch any food in the kitchen just because they're on their period. In Nepal, they're stuck in menstrual huts called chapatis. just because they're menstruating. Some of them starve to death and freeze to death. In Thailand, we still see a lot of shame and stigma associated to the word menstruation. Some women who are on their periods can't access any temples because period blood is considered unsacred. Upon these realizations, I understood that my issue alone wasn't just the only issue. I thought that by me not understanding and having the information to make best decisions for my body, this was a big problem. But even larger than the issue that I was facing was all the girls and women out there who had no access to even the basic necessity of a pad to make sure that they are able to menstruate with the rights that they deserve. Because of this, I was inspired to create my own organization called HerHer, which stands for Health, Equity, and Respect. In the beginning, I had the idea that I wanted to create reusable pads for women because it's a more sustainable and long-term solution. And I feel that, especially during COVID, this is the best way that we can help women in the long run be able to have access to these products. I wrote my ideas down on a Google document and I sent it out to everyone I knew, all my friends, people in my school. I told them about these stories after I've collected the anthology of stories of women and my friends that I've spoken to about their menstrual hygiene challenges. And they told me that, hey, I'm interested. And they believed in my vision of creating reusable pads to distribute to women and girls, even if at the time I had no evidence of what potential or what impact we would be able to make. 12 people joined our team. And together, we innovated, we reiterated our prototype, and we came to our final product, which we're currently still developing. Our reusable pads are pads made from sugarcane fiber, which is a sugar industry waste byproduct. We have got our reusable pads and our sugarcane fiber pads FDA approved, and not only that, our team has grown to over 50 people who are passionate young people working to advance menstrual hygiene around the world. From the 15-year-old girl who used to take her hormone medications in the bathroom to an 18-year-old menstrual activist standing in front of you today, I can say that I'm very proud to be talking about periods and to be bringing it up in conversation to all of you today. Every opportunity that I have to speak about menstruation and to talk about it and to destigmatize it, I feel is a chance for me to empower myself and empower other people as well as the girls I work for to make sure that they are seen and heard and that their voices mattered. Not only that, I truly believe that each and every one of you here can have a part in contributing to the menstrual movement. It starts with you. You can have a part by just being there for them. Each and every one of you here either know someone, love someone, or is someone who menstruates. Therefore, if you think about all the 500 million women out there who are stuck in chapatis, who have no access to period products, think back to your friends, your sisters, your family, your mother. Think about how would you feel if it was them who was going through this, who was stuck in menstrual huts, who had no access to food or water or the basic sanitation materials. And also think about if when someone who menstruates comes up to you and talks about periods and mentions to you that she might be having menstrual cramps or experiencing some menstrual hygiene challenge, listen to them, encourage them, and support them. Don't consider menstruation a taboo. Think about it as a natural thing, a natural phenomenon that happens to every menstruator's body. It's a natural thing that makes life possible. Therefore, there's no reason for why we cannot discuss it or bring it up in conversation. If there's one thing you take away from my talk, I hope that it is this, is that you can be part of the change. You can take part in changing our culture and changing the way that we think, talk, and perceive menstruation and periods. From a taboo, we can transform it into something empowering, something that we can talk and discuss it freely, comfortably, and make sure that each and every one of us is able to raise awareness and be able to bring it up in conversation comfortably so that more people are aware that 500 million people, or more than that, are suffering from period poverty and stigma. If more people realize that there are these girls and women and menstruators suffering in silence, the more women and the more voices will be able to empower, and the more pads will be able to put into their hands and make sure that each and every one of them menstruate with the dignity that they deserve. Thank you.